Family. Hey, family. This is Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve, let me see if my stuff coming up on my Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation. Steve Copeland from the Couch Conversation show. Uh, only came on here because this is too much to text. And I figured I come on and I come on my restream. And now I don't know what's more, right? But I just want to say congratulations to Westmore and the family. I went down to, well, my guy that works with the teens, right? The kids, Rock, uh, called me the other day to tell me that Westmore was going to be down on Chester Street, right? So I went down there to meet Westmore because of what I heard him and his wife during the interview that they had. When I heard him and they did a little brief history on him, and I really felt like we have somebody that understand us. And I don't want to just say as far as black people, right? Because he's into politics. So I'm gonna say us as a whole. You got me. I just don't want to put it on the black community within itself. But basically, that's where I'm at with this. But over time, I realized that everybody that's living in the poor communities and they're suffering that needs help, they're not all black. You know. And that's why when people, don't you ever try to come for me like you might want to say he's racist or something like that, or he all for the don't like white people. Don't try that with me. But that's the reason why I came on, because I want to say congratulations for his inauguration. um and from what I seen Oprah Winfrey so was over there as well. But I'm just I'm just thinking about us as a race of people, and I'm getting so sick and tired of us as black people always getting the end of the deal or the stick, right? And you know how you want to be happy, um or you want to feel as though a change is coming. you know um I hate this, man. I've been trying to mess with this stuff. Excuse me, y'all. Unable to connect. Unable to connect. And these supposed to be other little pages. I mean platforms on Restream that I should be able to connect to. And it should be simple because the main ones like YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, I'm on. And then my new Baltimore now on my daily motion, and I'm gonna get back to it. With what I was saying, I just had to pull my laptop up to see that my other stations come in, channels come in. Wait a minute, 1, 2, 3. I might get my butt up out of here today. 4, 5, 6, 6. Is that 15 or 14? It's 14, so I got to put another one in. Instagram. I think I tried to do TikTok, but TikTok wants you to have so many. But anyway, I'm just saying this because I'm trying to um uh, embed these other platforms in. And the platforms that I have in that I'm trying to put in is Daily Motion, Navir TV, FC-2. I can't give y'all the like basically they platforms. They other platforms that once I come on like with what I'm on now, it will go to these. Now right here it says sending data, but it say unable to connect. So I got to find out why they aren't connecting. I've been putting them in, and it tells me that the title isn't supported for this platform. But from what Restream tell me, that I still should be able to um, stream to them. But it's just that these don't support whatever the title is. So basically, I'm only putting their name back in rather than saying the couch conversation. But let me get back to what I was saying. I was trying to see if my stuff is um in right. But anyway, might have to call them and tell them I'm getting sick and tired of this. I'm trying to embed my stuff and it's not coming in, and I've been trying to do everything I know how. But let me go back to this, and y'all know, um, it's keeping it real with me. It's keeping it real with me. And I just want to say this: if y'all the type of people, and I'm talking about like family, and I'm gonna say my NA friends, because y'all not been in NA. The 26th of this month will be 30 years, right? So I'm gonna say my church members. If y'all feel like I'm not godly enough, and it's not that I'm not godly. I don't know why a lot of y'all kind of move away from giving me the support that I feel as though, you know, would encourage me and motivate me more, is when, you know, you people that you know really backs you up in what you do. You know, um, I don't even really know how y'all see me. I laugh and I kid and I joke about a lot of stuff. But when it comes to our poor people in Baltimore City, I'm really serious about helping, trying to help, you know, them get the proper help that they need to move forward in life. And I find out being the type of person to really fight for what is right, uh, you can become the most hated person too. And for me, because I'm well known in NA, I'm in probably one of the 10th biggest churches in Baltimore City, congregation wise. And I look at a lot of y'all that, you know, confess Christ. You're able to say that confess Christ, call yourself being lovers and followers. And to me, right? And I was going to say, please don't take it wrong, but if you do, that's fine. And I'm trying to get out this space. I really am. I'm trying to get out this space. But I just want to say this as a man of God, as a Christian, and I read and I study the Bible just like anybody else. But I'm not interested in their stories no more like that. I'm just not. I'm just not. And I try my best to stay on that narrow path like a lot of people who believe in, well, y'all want to call like their stories. Y'all want to call their stories like I was listening to Christopher the other day, right? He said God wrote the Bible. He said God wrote the Bible. This a minister. He said God wrote the Bible. I'm like, her. So I said, well, what books or what letter in the Bible that God wrote? Now, mind you, when I said that, he started switching up to like the people in the Bible that wrote the Bible. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get his words back right. They was inspired by God. but that's not what you said. You said God wrote the Bible. And we got to understand how we feed people. And that's all I'm saying, because a lot of the stuff that I believe in Bible and in the New Testament, you know how they say the word of God is written in stone, right? I mean, I'm sorry, I was in red. Now, I'm not trying to be smart, and I don't want to take away from no pastors with whatever, however y'all was taught to teach us or minister to us. They was quotes. They was quotes, and that's what I found out later. Even though they tried to separate from what Jesus said. Now I was getting ready, I almost said supposed to have said, right? Is written in red. Now I'm thinking that actually Jesus wrote that, but over the years he never wrote that. So I'm learning they was quotes from the people who walked with him, just sharing their story. And like I said, I don't want to take nothing, believe me, away from the word of God or from the Bible and what people wrote. You got me? I don't want to take nothing away from it. And the reason why I'm saying that, because if people like Christopher Anderson, if you believe God wrote the Bible, it's okay. But in Genesis, the first 4 books, they believe Moses wrote that. Now, I'm not pleased. I'm not trying to be smart. I'm just telling you where I'm at for now, right now, to this day in life. That's why Pastor Shane, the other day, I don't know if, because I always share my experience, strengths, and hopes. I was always taught to do that. And you went to say something to me about Old Testament, and it's like, I don't know if because of your knowledge that you have, that you call yourself trying to come at me in a way, but I was like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do it, sister. You don't want to do it. Because you got to understand, a lot of us was taught a certain way, and we stand on it. But it's something about when the Holy Spirit shows you the truth behind it all. It's just something about it. And because of where I'm at in my life, I don't want to contradict nothing or whatever misinformation that y'all tend to feed us. I just don't fall for it no more. I don't. And it's not to knock none of y'all. I just don't. Because, I mean, you talking about the truth. So I can't go wrong with my truth on how God deals with me or how he's worked with me. So that's why I try not to push my religious beliefs on people. I don't even like the word religion no more. Because what I started understanding, when people can identify you according to your religious beliefs, because we're structured to wear certain things and all that. So people can identify you on the outside, right? By what you wear. When God said, come to me as you are, right? He accepts you for who you are. But it's people that put stipulations. We want you to dress a certain way. We want you to look like this. We want you to do that. And if you don't fit into that category, you got to go. And no. So I'm just saying, for me, I can only tell you me. That's why I don't let everybody minister to me no more. I don't let everybody feed my spirit no more. I try to tell y'all, please don't quote scripture to me, because a lot of times when you quote scripture, it's a life story behind certain things in the Bible that I see, and I realized they was ordinary people just like me. So I'm trying not to put people higher than where God is at. You know what I mean? And please, that's not to knock you and your religious teaching and what you believe in, because that's you. But what I learned too, I cannot push my stuff on people. I'll share with you how God turned my life around with certain you know, or how I see like morals, values, and principles. I'm just trying to see who that is. Myers Inc. Eric Meyer. Oh, Eric Meyer. Eric Meyer. Who's that? Who's that? No, I just felt the need to come on because I kind of feel a sense of hope for Baltimore City. Because I'm looking at Westmore, right? I'm looking at Ivan Bates, right? I'm looking at is it Anthony Brown, and the other guy name was Eric too. And I'm looking at the men, and they like attorneys, you know, and they are in great positions to really help us as black people. And I'm looking at, you know, I want to be happy. I want to be pumped. But I keep looking at how everything start out good. Like right now, it's starting out good. Everybody happy, joyous, and free. But they tend to screw up. And that's not what I want to focus on. But it's like, you know, should I be happy? We got a black governor now because stuff going to get done. And or from my experience, all the politicians and the local leaders that we believed in and trust let us down. Let us down. So I guess it goes back to what somebody said. You vote them in hope and pray that they do the right things. That's not how I want to be. That's why I don't vote no more. I don't vote. And I'm not going to encourage nobody else not to vote. Vote. I don't vote because once I begin to see what truly go on and understand to this day what they can and what they cannot do, I'm not wasting my freaking time because I do the footwork. As far as trying to really not trying, that's just a poor choice of words, but I do the work that I believe that God has called me to do. I do the work that I believe Martin Luther King fighting for our civil rights, equal rights, constitutional rights. I do the work that I see a lot of our local leaders or our past leaders and fighters do. When you stand up and you fight for the democracy, and I'm gonna say in Baltimore City as black people, you fight for their civil rights, equal rights, constitutional rights. Now, mind y'all, I'm not a lawyer, but what I will do, if you call me to come out and speak somewhere, I will ask you questions because it's always somebody higher that's pulling strings that you never see, but they're there. That's just like your hustler, that that cartel guy that's pulling strings. And it's always somebody under them that works for them. That's why I come the way I come, because you have to find out who is the one. Like you might be in a powerful position, but it's always somebody that's dictating that over top of that person. It's always front men. So that's why when people ask me, and I'm sharing with y'all how I do stuff, I want to know who's who of who. Because I'm not about kissing people butt to get stuff done or selling people out to get stuff done. And a lot of people know that I'm just not, this dude is not just the type of dude that you can just get over on like that. Because when I find out the truth about you, here come the couch conversation show. Y'all the one told me, don't call out names, don't do this, don't do that. So y'all don't even want to know who's deceiving y'all. So I've been hearing it so many times throughout the years. Don't say this, don't say that, don't mention people that, but everybody else do. But it's like when I do it, y'all freaking have a problem. And even the people that I get a little encouragement from to talk about certain things, but when it's not them saying it, you the problem. And I'm like, where the heck you think I done got this from? The inspiration to talk about stuff with a lot of our corrupt politicians, polices, and people in leadership. And y'all started saying it so much and so much. Steve, don't do this. Steve, don't do that. Steve, it's okay. It's all right that you telling the truth or you telling, letting us know what's what. But it's just the way you bringing it. Cause y'all want me to sit back and people pained up and people hurt, but y'all want me to be like in a professional state and putting it out. Cause my look don't look right when I do it. Rather than y'all seeing this man serious. He for real. Do y'all know it takes a lot of freaking balls to do what I do? Do y'all know how I feel sometimes when you go after people and I leave my house? I don't know who out there might want to take me to freak out. Because I'm just trying to help our people understand some stuff and for us to come together and work together. But y'all sitting up there you go again, there you go again. Yeah, but he's doing what he has to do at the level of where he's at to help as many people as he can. I don't have to do this, just like y'all don't. And y'all don't do it. A lot of y'all don't do it. Because you're afraid. Unless you got about 10,000 behind you. Because you want to impress them first. I'm trying to do everything I can kind of like think of. I don't know nothing about like live streaming and TV streaming, but certain things coming across my heart just to put out information. So I'm trying to do certain things by myself, but now I know that I need like a technician and somebody that's real good with the computers and can embed stuff and to do commercials and articles. I mean, I'm thinking about the marketing stuff like that too, right? I need somebody like that will put everything out where I won't have to try to do it myself. I don't know nothing about that, but I'm willing to learn. But guess what? I can't do it all by myself. I started to be more real team talk. And I'm not gonna knock nobody for that. I had my nephew and them coming out, he gun ho, he this and that, and all of a sudden he don't show up. And it's not to knock them. I just understand everybody's heart is, they mean well. But when it's really time to put in the work, a lot of them tend to back off. And it's not, like I said, it's not to knock nobody. But I'm sitting up here, right? And I'm looking at the new governor we have now. I heard everything you say out your mouth. But my thing is you really going to do what you say? So I went, my friend called me, said that Westmore supposed to be down Chester Street. I went to the 600 block of Chester Street. They was in the 200 block. I was looking at some people down there, but I went to the 6 because that's where he thought it was going to be at. And I'm looking at the, looked like a bunch of people down the street. So I called him to make sure I'm least over in the right area, right? But anyway, I goes down there. It was the 200 block. Parked the truck in the alleyway. Because y'all know I got a big truck, right? So I had to put it somewhere where I could leave it for a while. So I go over there, I'm looking for Westmore. But I seen his wife because I had seen her on the doing the interview the other day. And the reason why I went for a lot of y'all, because we don't have a lot of faith and trust in our local leaders no more. But it was just, I felt something there. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go introduce myself, share a little bit about what I do. Hopefully, um, we can connect down the line. Because my thing is, if you're really serious about what you're saying, so many of our politicians, and it's not to knock you because I have a better understanding now of what y'all can do and you cannot do when it comes to the physical, listen to what I'm saying, work in the community. And I'm trying to share this with what you named them the other night. That's why I didn't run. Because the reason why I didn't run, because I realized, and well, it was told to me, and I'm seeing it more and more. If you have a business, even with Donald Trump, once he became president, he had to turn his hands with his business wise, he had to get out of it. So he had to let somebody else run his business. You can't mix the two. That's why they on his butt now. And now, mind you, people know this. That's in politics. But sit back and say, well, they can, but they just choose not to. They cannot. And this, I'm saying this right because Shannon Wright was running for mayor. You got an organization. Now, I'm not going to say you might not be able to do nothing with your organization because that's like volunteering, so you can show up. But hands on to do certain things, you can't touch it. You can't touch it. Marilyn Mosby even have a nonprofit, and if she get into like in politics, if she go hands on with her nonprofit, it's like a conflict of interest. And would it happen? They will start investigating. Look what she did. Your 401k or your retirement money, that's your money. That's your personal stuff. A lot of y'all ain't know that. So she have every right in the world to borrow money from herself to purchase and do other things. But it's a law or a violation with that because of the position she in. because they're trying to push it where you using your power of your position to do this and do that and do that. They'll twist it up on you, and we fall deeply for it. So now she look like a crook, and I'm not saying she's not. I'm just saying because that's how they make things look. And she's over there trying to tell that's not how it look, how it looks on the outside, right? Because we outside looking in, trying to look in. But she really know why she did what she did. But now the stigma's out there, so everybody believe that mess. I mean, I'm like I said, it's politics, right? So I'm trying to explain to some people the other day. Now, I said I was going to stop once I begin to see what's really going on. Rather than me going for Brandon Scott the way I used to, or the police commissioner, and any of our elected officials or local leaders, um, I had to understand with them it's all about the law, creating bills and legislations and stuff like that, right? So it's all about the laws. But it's the people, the community, that if you believe in your council member's bill or your senator bill, or if you believe in certain things, because they're work on something that will better help whatever we need to do to change things, work, or whatever they need to do to continue putting stuff in place where poor people will stay poor, cutting out government programs. So they'll start living more like animals because that's what they're doing. For a lot of y'all that don't realize it, you take out the city, you taking everything out the city. So they run to Fells Point. They go to the inner harbor because it's nothing really in the city to do. So they take it in other communities like Fells Point, the inner harbor, to have fun, to get rowdy. Because when you live a conservative lifestyle, or say like you lived a ghetto lifestyle, but you more conservative now, so you go into the communities with more conservative people. And all of a sudden, here come your ghetto, your hood, people that haven't learned to be structured. Then they're trying to join themselves, then they bump each other, then they want to fight each other. It ain't personal. And I started seeing that. And now I'm like, now y'all know how the black people feel or the poor people feel because they done moved everything out. So they gonna come somewhere. So now they want to talk about them like they animals and stuff. They just going to have fun, create their own fun. But they in the more bougie areas and they don't like it. Well, then y'all need to help us begin to rebuild in the city again. Teach people how to be more responsible and productive and all of that. Now, guess what, y'all? I ain't understand none of this. I ain't understand none of it till I started fighting the fight that I fight. I ain't understand. And sometimes I feel like I'm walking all by myself and not being smart. It takes me back to now. I was 6 years old when Martin Luther King got killed, right? I wasn't definitely here when Jesus came around, right? But the reason why I'm saying it, right, because when I do what I do, y'all, and if you really understand Jesus' purpose and what Jesus stood for, wait a minute, I'm trying to focus off this message just came through. When um when I look at Martin Luther King and when I look at Jesus Christ, And I'm gonna just say this because a lot of y'all know other, I'm gonna say great men, right? That fought for their people, right? Because Jesus is known as a martyr too, the same way Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all that. He is known as a martyr. So if I'm not pronouncing it right, y'all know I'm close to it, right? But anyway, but the difference that they separated Jesus Christ for, that he was like for everybody, any race, culture, stuff like that, right? So this is stuff that I learned through my process of, I was getting ready to say become a minister, right? But in my walk in that way, moving in that way. So when you look at Gandhi, Gandhi fought for his people, his particular race of people or gender. You know what I mean? I'm trying to say, because when I look at like Malcolm X, and then we looking at Farrakhan, and is their particular a martyr for their particular uh I don't want to put it on the color, but group of people, you got me, that believe in that. So that's how I had to separate certain things. So when I look at um Martin Luther King, and the only thing I see, he was fighting for our civil rights, equal rights, constitutional rights. There was a lot of racism going on when they was coming up. So he was fighting for our rights as black people as well. Now, when you look at Christ, Christ didn't have a particular group of people, but he came for the unrighteous, the ones that the world shunned to the side. Your whoremonger, your prostitute, your in my case, is that the whoremonger? Because it was the other word I was trying to get out. Anyway, it wasn't good. So that's how I look at that. Where like your drug addict, and you know how we might look at them. They don't make no sense. Ooh, they look horrible. They this and that, and we down them and we knock them rather than trying to uplift them and encourage them. Look at the woman at the well. Look at the woman with the blood. Was it actually blood? Because it could have been a personal issue that was going on inside of her that he helped her deal with. Look at the woman that they went to stone. Was they actually throwing bricks or rocks at her? Or was they just saying nasty, mean things to take her down? So understand, they some of it is symbolic. I ain't understand a lot of this. But I didn't even know that I was living a conservative lifestyle because of the stuff that I accepted, living like I'm gonna say in the ghetto with the roaches, the rats, and all that type of stuff. Some of us just learn to accept it, not knowing that we can do better. And then once you like come, I'm gonna say from out of the trenches, right? And you living in a more productive and safer area, and your thinking has changed now because you understand how important it is to work for the things that you want out of life than to just have it handed down to you. Some people, that's why they turn their backs on a lot of people that depends on these government programs and stuff like that, because that's extra tax money from the people that's making money, point blank. So I hope I don't get y'all lost for what I'm saying. So the whole goal with me, because I was able to come up out of that lifestyle that I used to live. Unknown caller. I don't know who that is that gave me that name. They're gonna have to wait. But and that's why I do what I do, y'all. And a lot of us, because we in a certain life that we're prospering in and we doing good, and we just frown down on the people that's not there. 60 years old. I'll be 61 next month. I did the drugs, I did the alcohol, I did the females, I've been married twice, traveled all over. Do you think I'm mad? And when I sit back and look at my life now, God dang it, if I go on I've never been on a cruise, so I might go. But because of the way the world is now, I don't care to travel for so much. I might go over to the UK and they might look at me and see how handsome I am and want to lock me up for being handsome with no teeth in his mouth, the front teeth. So no, I'm just saying it, y'all, because I guess because look, some people go to other countries and they don't make it back. And I'm like, I'm all right now. I done done that. I done been there, but it's still things that you might want to do. But right now, the reason why I'm saying that because I'm 60 years old and I'm not trying to reinvent or recreate stuff that I already lived through. Been married twice. First wife, I got a daughter by. Second wife, I got a son and a daughter. Huh. So when I look back, right, had a house, the house, picket fence, had the dog, 2.5 kids. And I'm looking at this stuff that I dreamt about and I fantasized about. And I'm actually living it. In a way, I'm saying, I can live my life. I can't think of too much that, say, like, I would really want to do tomorrow wise, like creating where I want to do this, but I never really had the chance to do it. I can't think of too much that I haven't done already. And I think that's why I do what I do to try to help others. Because I lived living, or live a pretty good life. Yeah, I like a newer box truck, a bigger one, stuff like that. That's material stuff. If I get it, I get it. I got about $500 in my wallet. I don't even realize it's in there because I got the ones in front of it. So it's being in my wallet. I don't feel no richer, no super. That's why I kind of like wonder, like people like Donald Trump. Even though he got his own jet. He's a billionaire, but it's like he can. To me, it's like he can afford just about anything he want without worrying about it. So do he really realize in a sense? Because I'm looking at me. Do he really realize in a sense that he had that money? Is it a actually value to it, or is it a feeling to it? Because when you can do basically whatever you want, right? Is it a high with it? I'm trying to think of the right word, or a word that'll fit it. Because I even had $1,000 in my wallet, but it's like that money to me doesn't hold that value the way it was when I was trying to hustle and I gotta be on top, I gotta be this, I gotta be that. It's like now it doesn't carry that value. So that's why people like that I kind of look at, and it's like I wonder, do they realize, even though I might be a billionaire, that I am a billionaire, or does that money I'm trying to see do it carry that value? Because right now, if I go to the store, be honest with y'all, if I go to the store right now, I end up getting me a soda and a cake. I'll get a soda and a cake. If I want some chicken, I can go get a piece out the refrigerator. I fried chicken this weekend. I fried pork chops this weekend because I'm so used to my mother cooking two meats. Or every Sunday, I'll end up cooking two meats. I might bake something and then I might fry something. Or say like if I'm gonna say bake a piece of beef or something, a roast beef. I might buy a bag of like buffalo wings and put them in the microwave because I'm just so used to doing two meats and the vegetable and the starch. I went and got me some of them. Well, I'm going to say Pillsbury dough, but it's not per Pillsbury dough that Jiffy bread. This time I got the blueberries to make little muffins with, or just make a like cornbread. Some people can't even afford to do that. So I'm just saying this, y'all, because where I'm at in my life, and it's like, be honest, once in a while I want to go on a date, I want to do stuff, but it's like I don't want nothing to distract me right now from what I do to help people, or because of where I believe God got me, you know. Because right now, if I had me a boo boo and all that type of stuff, I'd probably be like, the heck with you, God. It's all about her. Because I've done that on many occasions. I've done it. And right now, where I'm at, you know, it's like I don't want no outside distractions moving me away from what I believe God have me doing. I told my daughter, because she go back to college this weekend. So we're going to go get out what she want her nails done and her feet. I'm going to get my feet done. And then later on, me, her, and little Steve and Tashia going to dinner. Just to spend that little time together. My youngest is 19. My son, that's my only son. My daughter just turned 22. My oldest is 33. I think my grandson around about 15 now. I got a grandbaby about 4 or 5 now. I haven't seen her in a while. I seen her last year at 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 my sister's repast. I don't see my daughters, the older one, and her kids that much. They in their own little private world. I'm alright with that. My nieces and nephews that I raised, they in their own private world with their own families. I'm alright with that. I can sit back and look and see that they're living a great life, prosperous life. And thank God. Thank God. I want to go get me, look, already got a goddamn car. My daughter driving that one because she needed a car. And I didn't want to see her traveling around like places by herself because something might happen. You got me? So I ended up, when I found out her car was like totaled, I ended up letting her use the truck. And she had it ever since then. So I'm looking at getting me another truck, a Marta. It ain't got to be brand new for right now. I just want something where I won't have to jump into that white truck. My 22-year-old, her engine blew up in her car. So either I'm gonna take that, trade that sucker in. I was thinking about what's the guy name? Jimmy the Boxer. Somebody to give me 6,000 on it towards another car, or I'm gonna get that engine fixed. And I still got to get another car because little Steve gonna need something now. But other than that, it's like it's just really doing it. And the way I do, I'm up half for the night. So I will sleep, you know, half of the day away. So I'm trying to reverse that so that I can get up in the morning and maybe leave out the house like 9 or 10, like most productive people do doing going to work. No, I'll lay here all day long. If I don't have nothing seriously to do, I'll lay here. Melvin called me. Melvin said something about you living the life. Cause I just got up, yo. I just got up like by 1. Melvin said, you living the life. No, it's just where I'm at right now. Like, I'm up. I'm gonna go make me some breakfast. And look what time it is. It's 3:25. I'm sitting up here thinking about I'm going to make me some well, I'm gonna say English muffins. Um I'm trying to think what they is. Waffles, right? I said I'm gonna go in there and make me some waffles and scrambled eggs and sausage. I should be eating lunch or dinner about now. And it'll be that. That's what it'll be. Some days I won't eat all day long. And it's not good because I'm a diabetic. But I'm so prone to doing certain things where and the velocity that I take, it it kind of cures my appetite. So I won't eat unless I'm hungry. And I'll go all day and won't eat nothing. Now, will I tell other people to do that's diabetics and stuff? No. It's just because I listen to my body and it's not good, don't get me wrong, because I should eat a little something, like throughout the day like that. But sometimes, I'm talking about like a small meal, but sometimes I'll go and it'll dawn on about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. You ain't eat all day, bro. And then I'll eat. Because either way, I'm going to have to put something in me. Because if not, my sugar going to drop on me. I'll feel it when it starts. I'll get the jitters and stuff like that. So it's like, oh, you got to put something on you. And I'm just saying, for me, being a diabetic for over 30 years, it's not good. But I've been a diabetic for so long for me. And the only way I was able to lose weight at one point was by, you know, mainly not eating after 8, stuff like that. And then I started watching the weight go down. So I'm just saying that because but I wouldn't suggest nobody to do things the way I do when it come to that part of my health. It's just, for me, it's like a habit. So, but to go back to, I just want the best for us, y'all. I mean, I'm like, I don't have, like, I'm not in a place where, I could, I'm gonna just use this word, say, heal Baltimore the way I would love to. Because I only want the best for the ones that's really being mistreated and feel like don't nobody care and they don't want to help them. And I share, I talk about what I do a lot so that people can let other people know that basically might need the services that I be trying to get other people to help with as well. So I'll gather information where if somebody call me, I know where I can guide you to or send you to. And I hate the fact when I send people to other people to get stuff done and they kind of let them down. Because when you let them down, it's like you letting me down. And then what I have to understand, a lot of stuff for me, which is passion driven, is business to other people. They don't give a hell if they put you somewhere or not. I'm telling you. Now, when you dealing with homeless people, or when you dealing with low to income moderate people, they cannot pay a regular rent. like of $1,200 or $1,500. You know, some can stretch it, 12, whatever. But then we gotta think gas, electric, and all of that. And it's not one person that's going to be in the house to do that. It's going to be like 3 or 4 people that's trying to put their money together to be able to live like that. Reason why I'm saying that? Because I had a few families call me and I guided them to the help. They didn't get the help. They didn't get it. Because people telling me what they're going to do and just send them to me, you know, and then I find out later, you never did it. Or you never got back in touch with them. And how that makes me feel. Because I'm over here, right? I had a woman that called me. She got 4 kids and her father. A 7-year-old daughter, and I think a 8 or 6 and 8, something like that, right? Which I was going to put in the room, them three, the mother and the 2 daughters. I was going to, her 2 sons are like 23 and 25. Her father's 70 something. They need at least 3 rooms. And it was at a point where I could have got them the rooms, right? In my house, my program. But that would have been $500 a piece. Now, to me, that's a lot of money for one person, but all of them putting their stuff together, but I'm just looking at one person. It's a lot. And I'm like, I'd rather see you get into your own place rather than, because that's rent money. You know what I mean? No, I mean, I'll bring you if I got the space, and that's like emergency thing. And that's something we got to do just to keep you from off the streets. I sent her to this person. I sent another lady to this person. They met with her. She never got back in touch with me. The week before the new year came in, the mother that called me back, she was about to get evicted. She had to be out by January. I didn't even call her back to see if she found something because I was really disappointed and I had to let it go. You did what you could, Steve. So this what makes me mad about a lot of people. You gonna call my phone. When I say my phone, I'm talking about my business phone. You think you calling a shelter itself. I got 30 beds over here and we want this, we want this. Ooh, 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 thank you. And I work with landlords and this and that. Now, guess what? The landlords that they work with, if the rent is $1,200, the security deposit we already know is going to be about $1,200. They want double security. And it is what it is because it's business. And I'm like, where in the hell y'all think they're gonna get all that money from? We talking about homeless and less fortunate people. That's why you still got 30 damn beds. Because everybody don't have that double security to get in. But they gotta get it from somewhere. But we ain't gotta talk no more. I ain't gonna send nobody your way and I know they can't. And then I'm posting stuff on Twitter, right? I'm posting stuff all over. Because I know a lot of people that works with like homeless services see my information. Housing see my information. But you talking about the great job y'all doing. I can't tell. Come and let's talk. Sit down, let's talk. Let some Section 8s run through my business. Because I can help the people where I'm at, you know, the people that reach out to me. Let's do the low income housing through my business. Because the ones that y'all, you know, kind of overlooked or left behind, when they reach out to me, I can help. I didn't talk to so many people from like homeless healthcare. I'm talking about like workers, and they tell me, "Oh, we can do this, we can do that. We'll help you with this, we'll help you with that." And there's so much red tape and stipulations to get people in the house. And I'm thinking about the ex-offender, right? Somebody that might have a felony. Now I might be totally wrong, but I'm gonna say it because I heard it, but I'm gonna say it. If you have a felony, you can't get into like a government assistance house. Now I could be wrong now, but when I hear something that might block you, I try to get with people that can actually help you. So now you got a person that's coming home from prison, and if they don't go to their families or they don't have a program that's coming into prison that will put them into a place like a room and help them revamp their life, they be out on the streets. So I want the director of homeless services sit with me. I want the director of housing sit with me because I want y'all to help the fucking people that y'all make put all of this stuff into place where they can't get the help that y'all trying to give them because they got so much roadblock that people is disqualified before they even ask for help. My thing is get rid of some of that shit. Work with me and look up a way to help them get into places. Don't send me your damn what is it, supervisor, your manager. No, I want the director. I want the director. Brandon Scott gave what's that, a journey to home, journey to home, $92 million, but they still hollering they broke. He told me go talk with them to get the help. I said, Brandon, you know what I do. You know what I do. Y'all know what Christina do, but y'all fight so hard not to help her. See, I ain't for that. Because I'm coming as a Negro, a professional Negro. Help out fucking people. And then people get mad when I say little stuff like this. I don't give a freak because I want people to understand, help out people. Y'all talking about all this stuff y'all doing. I'm like, where at? Got so much stipulations put into place to stop homeless people from getting help. Or look in the inner city. Look in the city. I'm riding through blocks right now. I'm counting one, two, three. And there's 20 other houses vacant in that block. And the three houses that's in that block is normal to them because it's normal. That's what you see. They ain't normal. It probably would have been one time to me if I didn't know better. But I'm riding through, I'm like, we could be fixing this, we could be doing that, we could be doing this, we could be doing that, we could do this. I'm reaching out to people that's, I don't want to mention his name, right? Supposed to have been working with me to help rehab and revitalize the vacant houses in the city. I'm watching them working on historical properties. Historical property. I'm like, people can't live in there, but they're getting recognition. And I'm like, do you realize the money you put in here? We can do blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks for the poor people. So I sent them a message one day talking about, don't forget me, because I still need your help with helping our people. He basically sent me a message back like, good luck. Like, you motherfucker. I ain't say that right, but I ain't trying to throw no names, right? Because I really be honest. Be honest. That's how people start to turn their backs on our people. They start out one way. And when they start getting that little help that they need, like to what's his name, Thurgood Marshall, catch where I'm trying to go. Y'all told me don't say names, right? Pay attention to some of that. When you know you got thousands of people, or I'm gonna say our inner city people that needs the communities rebuilt back up, where you could put them to work and stuff. I was riding past North Avenue just the other day, right? Coming through like North and Cumberland, and I was looking over there at Tokes. Tokes spells bondsman. They building all around Tokes. I said, oh, they didn't tear him down. He ain't. Tokes didn't sell his stuff. Now I'm gonna tell y'all who got that. It's called the Baltimore Development Corporation. Brandon Scott and all of them was out there. Brandon Scott, Antonio Hayes, all of them. Do y'all know a lot of the people that was on the other side of the street hustling and stuff did not know why they was there? And they really didn't care to ask. But they rebuilding that right there, right on North Avenue, just before you get to Pennsylvania. Right there where Toke is at. And I was looking at Toke buildings still standing right there, but they rebuilding all around it, so it's gonna blend in. And they supposed to be houses or apartments. I'm sorry, for like I'm gonna say supposed to be for low to moderate income people. Now check this out. They hustling right there, and I reached out to the developer because I follow him on LinkedIn, and he does a lot of great work around Baltimore City, not in, but around. But the way he puts it, he's doing a great job to build up in Baltimore City. And I'm like, no, you're not. And I have to be nice sometimes and watch my words, right? Because you doing great, but not in the inner city. They building all around. So I'm looking at people giving them all these accolades and stuff, right? And I'm telling him, Colbert, I need your help. Help me to help, revitalize some of these houses in the city. The two-story houses that I know if somebody making, I'm gonna say between 12, 15 hours an hour, they can afford it. We just gotta make sure that the mortgage would be around 300 to 500. And they can do it. Cause the house won't go for no more than like 110, 120. If your credit score ain't right, that's why we're gonna have the programs to build up your credit scores and all of that so your interest rates can be low. That's what my program is about. A lot of y'all don't even know. I've been saying it for years. Brandon, I'm telling y'all, Brandon Scott, the commissioner, all of them know. Mayor Pugh, Jack Young, even Sheila Dixon. They know, because I've been fighting this for years. But if people don't back you up, they're not gonna do it. I'm telling you. It's like I'm just that, echo or something, right? And I already know that, but I don't want to give up on y'all like that. I want to be rich just like anybody else, but I'm not trying to sell y'all out to get there. Jump over hoops and all that type of stuff. Damn it, I got two kids in college. I want to be like Brandon Scott and all the rest of them and hand me that $10,000 on the side. Make sure the money can't be traced. I be scared. I feel like God gonna eat me up if I do that. Like, God gonna turn you up, Steve. I'm like, oh no, that's okay, that's okay. And that's just the conscience I'm talking about. I like the peace I feel today from not, living that corrupt lifestyle and stuff. People want to try to put me in that category of certain people, and I ain't saying no names. I'm on Pennsylvania, me and some people sitting outside, right? And I ain't gonna try to say no names, but catch it, please. They was like, you don't take the people like independent cars and spend it the way you want. I'm like, no. You don't take that like you know people that get SSI and you take all of that stuff basically what they were saying. You mean to tell me you don't do that? And I caught on what he was talking about. I said, nigga, you need to stop that. I caught on because I'm like, no, people can do what they want. Pay for your space and do what you want with your rest of your money. Cause so many of these programs, people that get SSI, it's programs that take all their money and might give them $15 or something. I don't do that to people. Their food stamps and all. I don't. And when we was, it was me and Ringo. I'm gonna say his name. We sitting down right at Simmons Memorial. You meet him and another guy. And Ringo started being smart. You mean to tell me you ain't like taking all that money and doing this? And now, mind you, it was a second or two, and it hit me, and it dawned on me who he was talking about. I'm like, you need to stop that. You need to stop. A lot of people know what people doing. I don't do that. I don't do that. And I used to kick it all out. But I'm talking about as far as talking about people and mentioning names. But I'm trying to be like y'all said. Since y'all don't want to know, okay. You look, you'll find out like me. Cause people ain't saying nothing, and people coming into my life, and then I find out later that they're a bunch of crooks and trying to see what they can get to really, keep doing what they doing. And a lot of times, y'all, I don't realize the damn crooks that I done ran across in Baltimore City that I really, really thought had our people. Now, because I backed away from a lot of people, Lady J will call me, right? And she be like, Steve, do you know such and such and such and such? What about such and such and such and such? And I tell her. And just about every time, a lot of times I don't realize, because I do a lot, but it's not too many people that I don't know about in their crooked ass ways. And that's why she'll call me. She'll call me because she want to get information on people. And I'll be like, oh my God. Reason why? Because now I'm looking back on a lot of the people that I done came across, right? That I thought was really for us, man. And anybody, I'm telling you, that she might want to know about, she'll call me and ask me. And then that's when stuff hits me and it lets me see, throughout the years, the stuff and the people that I have dealt with and what we do. And I thought was like honorable. I thought, whoa, because I mean, I already know you doing what's over here, but I might not see the crooked stuff you doing. Everybody else know sometimes, but me. And then when I find out, I put your ass on blast. And then when I'm sitting around other people talking about it, and they be like, "Oh, you didn't know that? You didn't know that was like?" No, I didn't know. And now I'm mad because I found out. I'm telling you, I'm laughing at Lady J because she'll call me. She'll call me. She'll call me and ask. She'll call me and ask me about certain people. And most of them, mostly all of them, everybody she asks me about is men, brothers, crooked assholes. And they smile in our faces and they give us the you would think they like got it treetop high because that's the way it looks. And I done had so many people come to me when I was up Park Heights, doing some stuff up Park Heights. Now I'm on my end lifting your name up, saying this, saying that, not knowing what you really is all about. But then later I say to myself, now I wonder why people ain't reach out. Now I can understand why people didn't, reach out in certain ways. So you gotta be careful. I just sent the lady Yolanda something on Twitter, cause she's over at the inauguration, and I'm sitting up here, I'm looking at Terrence, I think Antonio Hayes, Robert Stokes, and I felt real good about that. Just looking at how they over there giving Westmore, support, because he's get the I think it's the day, because it's on now. As far as his inauguration, right? And it really, really felt good. But that only lasted for so long. Because I get real excited about stuff, thinking that I really got people that's working with me and that this change gonna come. And then next thing you know, I'm disappointed. Then I'm yelling. Then I'm screaming. Because I've been let down again. Thinking that, we're gonna have a safer Baltimore. So I don't know whether I should be happy. In the mood to celebrate. We just got our first black governor. We got about 4 black men in major positions right now. Will it matter? Will they really do for Baltimore City what they should do to help us turn around? Or is these still just false promises? And I do not give a hell right now if y'all take it personal or not. But I'm going to share this with you. And I'm really understanding. I watched Christopher Anderson, I'm going to say that, as a Republican. When I first met Christopher Anderson, had invited me out when the Republicans was walking through the city, the black ones. Well, it was white people too. Because of my fight, he asked me to come out. And I'm listening to these people and I'm hearing their love and compassion and what they want to do for Baltimore City. And I'm listening to all that. And I'm like, where y'all been all my life? We been right here. Okay. I'm hanging out with them. We going to these little different places. They party. They party. You know, hanging out with the big wigs. They party. Conservative group. Now I'm not a Democrat. I became a Republican. Thank God I didn't get my card. I know my number because I end up pulling it up. But other than that, I don't have a card. So I'm like, the Democrats not doing what they supposed to do. So I got the Republican people here. We gonna 8 black, 9 black Republicans. First time in history. We gonna do some stuff. We gonna get some stuff done. Yeah, but next thing I know, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. I'm like, wait a minute. No, not Donald Trump, the people. Uh-huh. Next thing I know, Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. Fuck Donald Trump, excuse me, y'all, but that's what I'm saying, right? Because he don't need our help like the people do here. I'm thinking, I got people that's really gonna help me now in Baltimore City to get stuff done. The Republican Party is some broke ass people too. I thought the lower ones, right? I thought them suckers had money. I'm all out and whatever. Boondocks, looking good as all outdoors, trying to look like a millionaire. Cause y'all know I got some stuff right. And I'm listening to them talk. A lot of people don't want to run on the Republican ticket. So I could have, look, I was going to run just to run, to get the attention, to get money come my way, like Kim Klacik, the millions and millions of dollars and stuff. I'm like, yeah, so we can build up in Baltimore City and do. And then I found out you couldn't take that money and put it in the city. So okay, I can't take the money, build back up. That's why Kim got all that money that really she can help you towards politics and stuff. Anything politics. But when it comes to actually doing physical work with it, I didn't know that. Because I was trying to get Kim, because Kim was talking a good game. Like, I want to help the ex-offenders, and I want to return the citizens, and I want to rebuild, and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, she talking my stuff. Kim, where you at? Kim, where you at? I need your help. Where you at? Okay. Now, I fight for the democracy. Now, I'm going to say, of black people in Baltimore City. But we fight, and this is what the Democrats supposed to do, fight for black, brown, immigrants, and the LGBT, right? Fight for your civil rights, your equal rights. You got the right to be who you are. So they fight for your rights when people come up against you and stuff like that, right? So Christopher wanted me to come down to this thing they was having. Drag queens don't belongs in the library. I kind of laughed. I'm like, because I didn't really understand why they was doing it. So I'm like, drag queens don't belong in the library. They need to learn too, educate, when they studying. Anyway, I happened to look at it on Facebook. I mean, Twitter, because I had forgot, right? I had forgot, but they was down there doing the protests. And I ain't see nothing but evil. I ain't see nothing but evil. And I was trying to tell Chris that. I didn't see, it was like when I seen it, I seen evil and I seen hatred that was coming from these people. It's like I seen the evil of it and I got mad because I was looking at them targeting the drag queen. And it made me think a little too how us as black people dealing with the racism and the hatred. So I seen the evil. And I was trying to explain it to him. It might not have been you personally, but I seen it was just I spotted evil and it made me mad. And I thank God I didn't go. What I look like going in there now, I come for you now. Don't get me wrong. I come for people that can do better, but just don't do better, right? I ain't go. I ain't go. But I'm blasting. So Lady J did a topic on that the other night. Christopher Anderson is a minister. Christopher said they went down there, but it wasn't something that was planned and blew up the way it did. He's a fucking lie. They planned that shit. They planned it. He said, nah, they went down there. They just went for such and such and such, right? Now, mind you, I'm looking at a sign that was written out, just written on it. Drag queens don't belong in the library. They belongs in the club, right? Now, I seen that written. I seen that. So I can understand you saying that it was something that wasn't planned. And we all on there. He talking scripture and trying to, and And I'm, being who I am, man of God. I'm like, because I'm trying not to. Your sexual preference or whatever you do is your stuff. God loves you anyway. But anyway, I see the white poster that was written on, but then I see regular posters that was printed out. Now we all on this program talking. It wasn't something planned out, but it blew all over here and it blew over there. Then it hit me. I'm like, you're a fucking liar. Cause it hit me. That's why I'm gone now, y'all. And it hit me. Y'all planned that shit. Do you realize when y'all went down there, y'all put them people online? I mean, as far as made them a target against people that might not like people with that lifestyle or doing what they do. And that's all I could think about. Y'all made them a target. And they was down there to read. It's like a bunch of them came together and they had this little program where they go around the city and they read stories to children. Like the I'm trying to sing it, y'all. The whales and the bird, go round and around, stuff like that. So they was just reading. And this who came in 4 to 5 years old. I don't know. I throw it back when I was like 4 or 5. And if I seen a woman looking like a woman, I wouldn't have never. Come on, 4 or 5. It wasn't playing. It was something that happened. The news people was there and all over them. Them suckers playing that because they knew they was coming. But this is what I'm trying to get to with this, y'all. And if you're a Republican and you want to knock the Democrats and you are a Republican, y'all are some evil, nasty ass fucking people. Now, do you want me to say you with your Republican belief? Or do you want me to say you as in your character? Because that was some evil, nasty ass shit. And then Chris gonna sit back and say, well, ain't you a Republican? I said, fuck no, I walked away from y'all when y'all kept talking about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that, because I realized y'all was full of shit when it comes to helping our people. Now here I am. I ain't a damn Democrat. I ain't a damn Republican. I'm in the middle again. I'm standing by myself again. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. When it come to our people, that's how I'm feeling. So it's like, no, because I ain't trying to sell out people. I just want helping our people. And then people get mad at me when I go there. Fuck you, fuck you. So I'm telling you right now, do you want me to judge you according to your political beliefs? Or do you want me to judge you according to your character? Because if I judge you towards your character, y'all are some phony, fake, evil ass people. All of y'all Republicans because of y'all particular beliefs. But I feel like this, and this is what I'm trying to, stick to. See, being a Democrat don't talk about your character. Being a Republican does not talk about your character. That's why I always try to get to meet the person to find out why you might create a bill that will hurt our people or, stuff like that. I just want to know the individual. I don't want to judge according to like the laws that you might feel cater this group or that group better, that group better. But now you got me believing y'all a bunch of witchcraft, sorry suckers. And right now, I don't care to be bald with none of y'all. Cause y'all got me confused. Is it the person itself or is it your political beliefs? Is it the person? Because guess what? That was some nasty shit. That was some nasty shit. Y'all targeting people because of their lifestyles. And then Christopher now, He's sitting up there because, which I kept telling Christopher, when you read and you study Bible, it's for the individual. Stop taking your particular beliefs and pushing it on other people. Because I used to do that early on when I got in, when God turned my life around and I became so holified, you know, religious and holified. Now, yes, some people some people preach. You notice how we got like a lot of gay pastors that will bash people that's gay, but we find out later they live in the same lifestyle. And see stuff like that, right? I mean, to me, I think you should be more open about people's life because whatever their life is, my thing is you're supposed to introduce them to Christ. If they come that route. Now, what I tried to tell Minister Christopher, Pastor Shannon Wright, because you call yourself coming for me, sister, don't play me. Because like I was trying to tell y'all, I don't see scripture the way y'all do. That's why you never really hear me saying, well, Paul said over there the other day, right, in Ephesians 4 and 5, whatever I learned throughout scripture, and I'm talking about like living by some morals, values, and principles because I started seeing a sense of direction in life. And when I look at the Old Testament, it shows me that this is the old way of how God dealt with the people. Now you have the new. This is the new way. So I'm just saying me as a human being. So when I look at the old, I used to shoot dope. I used to shoot cane. That's like my old testimony. So when I look at that, I look back on how I used to live. And that's how God dealt with us, doing our corrupt lifestyle. Now that God has turned my life around, I'm looking at the new direction and where He's guiding me. Now, mind y'all, I didn't understand a lot of this. So right now, what I'm doing, I'm giving y'all my testimony. That's all I'm doing. I'm telling you about how I used to be, and I'm telling you about now. And then you go to Revelations, that's like it is. But anyway, um, I just started saying stuff like that. So when people read, they try to take the Old Testament and you want to push that down. I don't live by Old Testament laws. Thou shalt not kill, which is this sticks now. Please don't get it wrong. You already know you ain't supposed to do certain things. But God knew that people was gonna act more out on their physical condition, their flesh. I had to start telling my flesh no. The spiritual man had to get more control of the flesh. I didn't really look. I'm reading Paul. Paul. Paul said, it's the good in me I ought to do, but it's the evil in me I always finding myself doing. I was like, oh my God. He struggled in his flesh, but he stayed on the ministry of putting the word out for God. His journey was spiritual. I was like, oh my God. Because when I look, Paul used to crucify, beat on the Christians and, just the evil, nasty dude like I was, right? And God turned it around. And then I started realizing they was ordinary people just like me. And if you get personal on certain stories as far as digging up their information, you'll find out you was just like them to certain degrees, I'm saying. Because they was no different. So see, that's how I see things now. And I'm not trying to be smart. If you want to quote scripture and all that, I tell people, please don't quote scripture to me. They be like, why? I say, because it comes to life. I can look back down and tell when I look at when God told Moses to go tell Pharaoh, let my people go. Pharaoh had his people enslaved, and he had his people which they was not Pharaoh's people. That's what I'm saying. They was human beings and they was God's people that Pharaoh was using for his own advantage. So guess what? 1619. Life repeats itself. And I'm only saying this because this is what I started seeing. Now, I'm not knocking nobody for how you preach and you teach, and I'm not knocking it. You went to theology school and you learned how to break it down, and the herb tribe, the Reefer tribe, the Hindu tribe, and y'all trying to find out what tribe you came from. That's excellent. When I did my ancestry, it took me back to that when when God came to Jeremiah in the dream. And this is Jeremiah's story. Now God wrote Christopher the book, but God wrote. He came to Jeremiah in a dream. Jeremiah, God came to Jeremiah in a dream. He told Jeremiah, I knew you before the foundation of this world. Steve Copeland. You heard what I just said? He told Jeremiah, I knew you before the foundation of this world, Steve Copeland. And know what that did? That took me back to, at some point, I was in the presence of God in the spirit. He just told me, I knew you before the foundation of this world. And then to go further, before I formed you in the womb, I put everything in you that I called you to go out and do. He empowered me. All of it was there. That's what I'm doing now. Now, mind you, I didn't understand that. David put Bathsheba's husband on the front line to get him killed because he didn't want that man to know he was sleeping with his wife and, she was pregnant by him. But God told David, no matter how you stumble and fall, you're a man after my own heart, Steve Copeland. What? Yeah, I love you anyway. Y'all ain't got to tell me that. He said that to me when I cheated on my wife. When I was out there sleeping around with all them young girls and I began to feel like crap. Because I felt like I fell to God. And he told me no matter how you stumble and fall, I love you anyway. I'm like, thank you, God. A lot of y'all didn't know my story, remember. But it wasn't man that I had to get my life back with. And it wasn't even my wife. So I want a lot of y'all to know, right? Now, I'm going to say, because I'm a man of God, it wasn't about trying to find peace with my wife again. It was not. So a lot of y'all, I can't forgive him. And you ain't got to. Because I told my wife, I said, if you can't forgive me for what I done, and most of all, you're not going to beat me up for what I done because I did it. And it wasn't that I was trying to be smart, but once I began to see that God knew all of this before I was even here, I had to get my spirit back right with him. Because I felt like I had that hedge of protection. God's protection was around me. And when I stepped out, now I'm feeling the shame and the guilt like God left me. I needed that back. So I'm just saying this, and please don't take it the wrong way. And please understand I'm saying don't take it the wrong way, but in a sense, I don't care. Because I needed to get some peace back in my life for the bull junk I done. So a lot of y'all be like, well, yeah, I shouldn't have did it. I shouldn't have done that. I know. I say that, man. I know. But I knew there was a good chance too. If you with a man or a woman, either or, because it could be the woman that's cheating or the man that's cheating, and you find out, and if you're going to stay your butt there, don't beat them up. Don't beat them up. If you feel like you want to keep reminding them of what they done and drag it down to cause y'all relationship or y'all marriage to be even more horrible, get away. Get away, because you don't want to be, and this is what I had to understand. I ain't staying married to no damn body and being miserable. I'm telling you. You see how some religious people try to kick it on you, but for the good and the bad and the ugly, yeah, but I ain't gonna be miserable. That's why I did what I did, because I was miserable. So I ain't gonna be in no goddamn on relationship no more miserable. Oh no. So I I left. I left. My pastor counseled me and my wife on my 21st year being clean. That day, my wife called the police and told them I beat her up. My wife's sleeping upstairs. I'm sleeping downstairs. She called the police, told them I beat her up. And when they came in, I just presumed the position because they was coming in so much. I'm like, okay, here you go. You know, you got to put two handcuffs on me because I'm big up here. So it's kind of hard when you go back. I can't breathe that well, right? So I'm like, well, you got to put two sets of handcuffs on me. Come on now. Come on. Because I was getting locked up so much because I got used to it. Because she would call me, tell them, little stupid stuff, and don't let no black police come in there, woman, because she gonna lean on you. She waiting for you to get smart. And I caught that. One day a black lady police was leaning on me. I said my name wrong, and she leaned on me for saying my name wrong. I'm gonna say, sorry, ma'am. But then I looked on the floor. My my weed whacker was on the floor, and I got scared, right? Because I'm like, oh shit. I hope she don't think I'm reaching for it. I ain't gonna give her no excuse to shoot me. Y'all think I'm joking. I'm serious. That was the last time I was with my wife. January the 26th. My 21st year being clean. I spent that night in jail. Well, at Central Book. But I had forgot. January the 23rd. I screamed out so loud, God, please help me. I wanted to die. I'm coming across the Delaware Bridge. I was just miserable inside. And I wanted to run that tractor trailer off that bridge. But I was afraid that I might have lived. And y'all know I talk a lot, right? And I would have been telling y'all, I'm trying to calm myself. I'm like, hell no. And then I'm standing up in front of people in the meetings and stuff. And y'all know I talk about me. I tell every goddamn thing about me. And I was like, no. Then I'm going to have to talk about that. So, the 26th, I didn't realize it. God saved my life. I didn't realize it. So that's what I'm saying. Do not, if you're in a relationship and you miserable as hell, don't stay. Try not to stay there. And I know how hard it was for me to get up and walk away. And that's the only thing. That saved my life. That saved my life. And I went to court, which I wasn't supposed to have went, because that was for the 30-day thing to stay away from your house. And I asked Judge O'Malley, I said, can you extend this thing indefinitely? Because I did not want to go. And I figured if I violated that protection order, I would go to jail. And I'm scared as hell of jail. So that's the Copeland. That's your home. You don't go back to your home. I felt like I couldn't tell her. But I was like, in my inside, right? I was like, hell no. Shit I've been putting up with for the last 15 years. And that's what I wanted to say, but I didn't say it. I said, no. She said, okay, I'll extend it for a year. And they gave me time to go through what I needed to go through. I'm sharing this for anybody that's in any type of relationship. And I know you love you. I know you love them. And I know you just want the best for your relationship. I know all that. Sometimes you gotta love them from a distance. I still love my wife to this day. I had to keep my sanity. I had to go. And I said I will never, ever do that to myself again. I will never be in another ship and be miserable. It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot. And it was nothing I wouldn't do for my wife. Nothing. Right now to this day, if she called me and said she needs me, I got her. But I just know I can't be there like that. I'm still in love with my wife. But I know me and her can't be together like that. You got two powerful, strong people. And when it comes to the children and stuff like that, when it comes to track, if some don't humble themselves, that's when it goes overboard. And that's I didn't come over here to share it with y'all, but sometimes I don't know where God gonna take me. But I'm only saying this, y'all, because I want to see people happy, joyous, and free. Whenever I'm talking to, I'm gonna say women, because men don't. I didn't know men get abused. I didn't know until when I left and I had called the roof house of roof something like that to get counseling because somebody had told me they said men get abused too, but mine was more like mentally, and it that man was 6'1" and ooh, tore me down, tore me down, tore me down. I was gone. I was gone. My 17th year clean. I went to a therapist to try to get help in coping with my wife. And I'm not talking bad about it. Please don't get it wrong. I'm talking about a relationship or dealing with dealing with, and yeah, being married. I wanted my marriage to be better this time than it was, in my first marriage. So I wanted to be better at, it just didn't work. And guess what? I wasn't willing to continue doing the work to try to make it work. I wasn't. So I went to my past. After I went to court that day, I'm gone. I don't know. I think my phone acting up now. But I told my pastor, right, because he was counseling us. It just went back haywire. I said, Pastor, I was gone. He said, well, is she cheating or whatever? I said, Pastor, I don't know. Which I didn't know. And if she did, it didn't matter to me because I felt like if she was, at peace or just okay with whatever, it didn't matter because I know I did. And I told my pastor, I said, I don't know, but I did. And I accept that. The fact that I got an answer to God when that time comes. But I was gone. so I was gone and I'm still gone. And the reason why I'm saying that to y'all, the 30th of this month will be 9 years. So I always had to think about my 21st year being clean. I can't even tell you what it is unless I I do remember January 21st, 26th. And when I do go back, I think about coming through coming through, the New Jersey Turnpike and all of that, and looking at that bridge, driving over that bridge, and I wanted to drive off the bridge, and that was January the 23rd of that year. And like I said, I don't know who needed to hear this, because that was not my goal to go there. When I came on, I wanted to come on, and because I'm thinking about Westmore, and I'm thinking about like the people that really, 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 really need help in Baltimore City. And I'm looking at a lot of our local leaders. I'm not going to knock them anymore. Excuse me, because I know their hands are tied with certain things that they really can't touch from where they at with their positions, you know. And as far as the homicide rate going on in Baltimore City, the criminal rate, the violent criminal behaviors that's going on in Baltimore City, you know they our children. Now I can flip it around and say you know that's your children because they not my family that I know of, not my immediate ones that I know that I raised and we all came, not them. But I'm only saying this right because we are allowing our own freaking children to tear up our communities and kill off of other people children, and we know they doing it and won't say nothing. And I understand. Well, I'm gonna tell you this, be honest with you, I'd rather see that butt behind prison than for somebody to take them out because they didn't kill their family members, so now they're gonna come after them. Or if they can't get to them, guess what, they're gonna come after one of y'all. That's how we thought back then, and that's how they think now. And matter of fact, I have talked to some people who have lost like loved ones. I was around down the way one day. I didn't know. I was down there. They was having a visual for this kid, teenager, one of them. I didn't know that another one had just got killed a week before down the street. And man, this guy was talking. He said, "I remember you as far as what I do, right?" So he was like, "Man, because you know they doing gentrification." And I'm thinking negative about the gentrification stuff. And he said, "Man, I'm trying to get his words back. If taken to move our black men or black guys that's being people, our young people that's being killed into the county in order to save their lives," he said, "I'm all right with that." I was like, wow. Because I'm thinking, I was looking at it in a more negative way. And the way he put it, it was more like if this what it takes to save a lot of our black men and women lives in the inner city, then I wish they hurry up, in a sense. And that blew me away because I didn't look at it like that in order to save their lives. And I tell a lot of our young men, if I'm somewhere where they out and I figured I can joke and play with them, just to get the message across, I'll tell them stuff like, look, I understand, because I hustle. You know what you got to do to make some little ends meet. But if you want to go back to school to get your GED or a high school diploma, if you want to get into apprenticeship program, and I'll be like, if y'all see me back around here, because the West Side is my side, and you see me, I said, just come and talk to me. Because I said, y'all keep killing each other. Well, y'all killing each other. I said, we coming for your ass. Now, this would, which I was talking to Robert Stokes. The reason why I supported the eye in the sky, the surveillance plane, right? We got people that's afraid to snitch or be an eyewitness, right? So I'm looking at this plane and it collects data, right? It covers Baltimore City every second. So when something happened, and that's the only part I really didn't like about it, but it has to happen in order for us to solve that crime. But what I was looking at too is the things that we can do to kind of encourage our people not to go and commit that heinous crime. I said, I was telling Ross, advertise, 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 advertise. Because number one, when a person go to do something, their goal is not to get caught. It's not to get caught. So we got to advertise the plane to let people know that if you go out there and you practice certain behaviors, once we get that 911 call, that 911 call is going to go into the operator, right? So we'll get it seconds after that, after you call and make that report. So now what we can do once we hear you on our end talking to the y'all know what I'm trying to say. But once we hear the operator, once you 911 operator, once we hear you talking, telling them what's what, we can pinpoint that area. Then we'll start our aerial investigation. Now, once they pinpoint it, you might have 50 people there, they might scatter, but now we got people in the office checking everything out. So they're narrowed down to that one individual. The good part about it, now they can track you back to the house you came out of, to where you came to commit that crime. Then they can track you to where you went after you committed that crime. So if you go back to the place you came out of, then we know the person that committed that crime came out of that house and went back to that house. But if you committed that crime and went to another house, we know that the person came out that house down there to commit that crime, ended up in that house. So we will Google that information to get the house and everything. And we'll give all of that evidence to the detectives to come and get you. At the time, Marilyn Mosby was in, but we'll give that information as well to the state's attorney, which is now Ivan Bates. And once he show you the evidence, 9 times out of 10, you're going to admit to it. Or you might try your hands and you want to take it to court. But now, with the evidence that the detectives, the homicide detectives collect, and the evidence we give them, it just put everything together. You got me? Now, a lot of people don't know that. So, because I'm talking to Carl Stokes and he said he wasn't really for it. You say what you want, bro. I love it because I'm looking at saving lives. And see, some people, what they have a tendency of doing outright, they look at it in a negative way. But then if I tell you this, we got city watch cameras, right? The cameras up on the poles and stuff. We got red light cameras, right? We got the license plate readers, right? When you driving through certain neighborhoods with the doorbell ringers, the cameras, do y'all realize they can use all that information themselves to track down and resolve a lot of these homicides and stuff like that? They won't do it. They don't want to do it. because they don't want it to stop. Did y'all realize that? So it takes an outside source that's not connected with the money in here and all that type of stuff to help slow that down. It's big money in death. It's big money in your loved one's body parts. None of y'all will ever question it. The heart, the liver, is big money. Take them out. They take some out anyway. And they go to other people that's willing to pay big money. So you gotta understand the reason why stuff happens. Did y'all pay attention when one of Warren Brown family members got killed? They pulled up the evidence and caught the person. T.J. Smith. Y'all pay attention? But when it comes to the poor people, I started seeing a lot of it. I started seeing a lot of it. And I couldn't actually yell it out with the bullhorn. So I had to start joining organizations that already knew what was going on to try to fight a lot of this that tends to hurt our inner city communities, the low to moderate income people. Look at the fentanyl. We talking about 300 deaths with the homicide, over 300. When the fentanyl came around, it was like 900 bodies a year from the fentanyl. So I haven't heard like how many deaths now they might be having a year now with it, but I'm looking at 900 when it first. So it's probably might still be somewhere around there, or probably because that's 3 times as much as the gun. And do y'all know that's guns? Do y'all know the people that get stabbed up and all that type of stuff is not included in with the guns? So we might hear about 333 homicides with the gun, but they don't tell you how many of them got stabbed up or killed in that way. Y'all ain't pay attention to it. When Safe Streets in them, be like, we ain't had a murder over here in the Bel Air area in a year, and that's the only gun. And that's the only gun. You might have had somebody smothered, choked out or whatever. I'm just saying, certain. But if that's their target to reduce the gun violence, they'll say that. But they won't tell you about the other ones. And not only that, all right, you hear them talk about like is 600 non-fatals, but they're gun shots, gun victims. They will never tell you like how many of them might have got stabbed almost to death or burnt to death. They'll say certain little things, but it's a number or a rate to come with it. But they'll make you think they're doing such a great job in this one particular area, and that happens to do with guns. Commissioner Harris said, we got wait a minute, 2,500 guns off the street because they got a little task force together to do that, right? And he was going in that area, and I was like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But because we still got over 300 something homicides this year. So even though, which is great, but it hasn't reduced that in a major way, which that plane promised to reduce the homicide rate by 20% his first year. So we talking about getting it down under 200, getting it down where it could seem, possibly like a normal thing, but over 300 and all that type of stuff is kind of outrageous. It's just out of control. But if you're not careful, man, they will set up there and talk about certain little things that they doing and how they increased, or it's they're trying to make you think they just slow certain things down, but technically no, 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 no. So now, why am I saying all this? Because this is the type of stuff, as a community activist, as a community outreach coordinator, as a homeless advocate, as a person that's really involved in the city, that he want to help see things get turned around. And I'm gonna tell y'all personally, we gotta come together. We got to. And I'm saying the black race, if we want the system to cater more to us too, even though we might, if we break a crime, I'm just say as a white boy might do, same scenario, same crime, he gets 5 or 10 years. That black man get about 30 or 40. His wasn't no different than his, but it's the color. Because you're considered more dangerous than that. You considered as an animal. That was just a white boy that made a mistake. So they try to make it seem. And some of them get time too. Don't. But this is what I learned in the process of what I do. I don't know. Ratification, right? Or ratify. And I was reading up like on the amendments and stuff like that. And from what I understood, say like when they wrote the Constitution rights, it was like written in stone. And I use that word because from the way I understand that it's like it can't be overturned, but it can be ratified, where they could put certain things in that will better cater to that particular culture. I'm talking about the black man. And that's what I got out of that. They can ratify. But now those are like the laws that tends to like hurt us more. But I'm realizing in order for us to make them, and you gotta get some type of legislator, somebody that has created a bill where it will better serve the black man. And stop telling yourself, oh, the system don't work for us, because you're defeating the purpose every time we do that. And there's so many people that don't want to fight, right, for their civil rights, equal rights, and constitutional rights. They don't want to fight. That's the first thing they do. Oh, the white man this and the white man that. No, if you feel like the white man being catered, I mean, treated much better than us, which they are, then you got to make the same laws that work for them work for us. A lot of us just don't want to do the work because we got that slave man mentality. Oh, they ain't gonna do nothing. That's why a lot of times I move away from certain people that, you know, don't focus on creative stuff. My daughter in college to be a lawyer. So a lot of the stuff she's getting ready to get into, like studying the laws and all this type of stuff, I show her what her father do. I'm not a lawyer, but I know the stuff that they study, you know, has a lot to do with like the constitutional rights or the amendments. Because certain things, like if communities united, you know, we're gonna go to New York to fight against a certain bill, because they don't want it, you know, to get it on the books, or they don't want to get it. Well, I'm trying to say like legislation, but they don't want to get it. I use that word in the books, right, on the books. But yeah, yeah, yeah. And I learned a lot. I'm telling y'all, I learned a lot since I joined Communities United. And then you know, I think I'm gonna try to look it up again because I do want to read up more about what is the Republican Party like beliefs and what do they stand for and who do they fight for and stuff like that. And what little I know, it's more like a free government. They want the people to take back over. And I ain't gonna. I mean, I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. But from what I've been seeing lately with our black people, they brainwashing our black people. I could be totally wrong, but I'm just thinking because I'm looking at Chris Wright, and I don't even think he realized it. And he's trying to throw scripture in it, but I don't even think he realized what he was doing. One, he was lying his ass off. But in the name of Jesus, he was trying. But you can hear he's getting good with his political talk. So in a way, I'm saying with that political bullshit, okay? He's getting good because I'm looking at him. I'm like, he really starting to grow, and you know, somebody was interviewing him, and he was like, for all the black people, you need to believe more in Trump. You need to believe more in his values and this and that. And I'm looking like, Trump is one of the biggest crooks in the fucking world, and you gonna try to tell us we need to believe in him? This man filed bankruptcy, what, 6 times? And he said the reason why he did it, so he wouldn't have had to pay the people back who money he borrowed and fucked up. And you think that's honorable? I was, and I was looking at, I went on Twitter to screenshot those drag queen things they had out because they was done it, you know, at the library. Because I was gonna post them on my page, but I was gonna lay Chris ass out, right? He took them off. You know when you're wrong. You wrong as shit. You wrong as shit. He took them off. And then I went to put something on Twitter, right? Because I wanted to, in a way, I wanted to bash him in a joking way, you know. And I went to send a message because I had his name in there. It wouldn't go through. So I went to do it again. It wouldn't go through. So I had created a message without his name, and it went through. I said, that sucker blocked me. I said, that sucker blocked me. But he left, look, when I made a statement about them coming for the drag queens, he made a statement, and the statement is still there. We called you to come down, like I was gonna come down. I'm like, no. I wasn't coming down there and call myself putting them people on line blast like that. You know? Cause now mind you, the, this was the statement he made. And I'm looking back at that live we did. He said the drag queens was in the library reading to the 4 and 5 year olds naked. I said, Chris, did you really see them reading to the kids naked? Nah, because they wouldn't let us in there. Why in the fuck would you say that? And I'm just saying this because a lot of y'all that like to exaggerate stuff to prove a point, do y'all realize this? A lot of pedophiles get killed, right? So now you talking about men that dresses up as women. Man, they all sexy and stuff, and they cleavage showing and all that. Was they? You seen all of that? And they reading to our kids, but now you telling us that they wouldn't let y'all in there? Because he was presuming, he was putting stuff out to make it look worse than what it was. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, man, you my boy. You my boy. But you're a lying piece of shit. And my thing is, do you realize the target? That's what I'm looking at, the target that y'all putting on drag queens back. Because you got a lot of radical groups out there that will come together to start killing them to freak off. That's all I was saying. Why would y'all want to put them on blast like that? So now I got a little better understanding of it's like they started this organization where they would go from city to city to read, and this is a time, and this is what I'm saying, this is a time where you want to educate your children if they ask certain things. But 4 or 5 year olds don't really understand, all that. But they was looking at more like their sexual preference or lifestyle, but trying to make it like they trying to push it on the kids. You can't push it. Let me make that clear. Let me make that clear. And I could be wrong because I was trying to think about it. I was trying to look at it. That is people born gay, or I'm trying to think because I don't think that's something that you decide or you wake up one Monday morning and say, I think I'm gonna be gay today. So, because that's a whole different lifestyle out of the norm, but it might be normal for that individual. So who am I to question that? So I'm looking at a lot of stuff that's happening, and mainly with the Republican Party, because they don't believe in certain things. I believe people got the right to do what the hell they want. That's just me, and that's a lot of y'all too, because that's their life. My thing is, no matter how you live your life, find peace within yourself, because that's what's going to keep you. A lot of people don't like the way I do stuff, and if I worry about what people think about me all the time, I'll be ready to hang myself or commit suicide. So it's not outside that, you know, that gets me. It's more about me being all right with me. Because I know a lot of y'all ain't gonna like me anyway. So now I'm really trying to look at it to see, like, I think a parent can tell when their child is a certain age, like maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if they have female tendencies, that they might be gay when they get older. So Because it starts out young, certain things. Now, some people who have been raped or molested might end up finding pleasure in that and start liking that lifestyle. Now, because of that, they have the to me, I think if that's where they at, and they're comfortable now, at peace wise with themselves. And that's how they want to live their life with the same sex. They should be able to do that and have peace within their life. It's us who tends to judge you for whatever. And it ain't always gotta be impure or against, but it's us. It's people with their sick narrative that they want to push on you. Don't do that to none of my family members, sucker. So anyway, I'm kind of looking. And I think the mother, maybe the father too. I'm not really, 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 really sure. Because I didn't have to deal with that. So I don't know. But I think it's mainly the mothers. Because they more intimate with the kids as far as dealing with them, their feelings and emotions and stuff like that. And I think they identify stuff a lot quicker than that man would. So the mothers would know from a young age that there's something a little different about my boy, you know. But what I'm trying to see is it something that they born with? And while we was talking too, they brought Dwayne Wade daughter, son that transformed, right? Now I think that's a beautiful thing that your parents support your lifestyle, even though they might not be really for it, but they support it. And even though he was a boy and he, got things turned, um, which is a girl, and me knowing that, I would respect that and I would call you a girl. I'm not going to sit back only because I know you're going to have issues with trying to be all right with your sexuality anyway. So it's to make you feel comfortable with whoever you are as far as accepting yourself, right? And that's just out of respect. That's the way I looked at it. And that was brought about. And he said, yeah, well, because he was a man, I mean a boy, I'm going to call him a boy. Okay. But I'm just saying, sometimes it's hard for people to deal with life in general. And they're only trying to find peace within themselves. And if there's any way I can comfort you, I don't care who you is, you live your lifestyle and all that. If you're a male and you find me attractive, you find me attractive, I would tell you, hey, I appreciate no, but oh wait a minute, I'm sorry, I don't go that route. No, but seriously though, I just tell them, hey, I ain't like that. And it's not to knock you, but I would say things in a way just to help you understand. I don't knock you for what you like or anything. I just don't, you know, indulge in it. And some people respect you to the utmost for that because it's not to judge them. It's just to let them know I just don't go like that. Then if you had to, you know, regular stuff, now I can say that because I'm comfortable with me. But I know a lot of men because of where they at. They might get offended or the ego might kick in a way. But if you are with your sexual orientation, none of that stuff should bother you. So that would have been one of the next questions that I would ask. Why you feel like that? To a person that disagree with somebody else's lifestyle. That's their lifestyle. It ain't my lifestyle. As long as they happy, joyous, and free with themselves, let them enjoy life the way they want. Stop trying to tell people because of your religious beliefs or how you see certain things. God is talking to you. God ain't tell you to take this and apply it to everybody else's life. He's telling you to apply it to your life. And I know I've been on here for almost 2 hours and a half. I might leave this up. I might leave it up. Because I normally delete whatever I have on over 2 hours. And maybe somebody might need to run across this. Because a lot of times what I do in my spare time, and it's basically all the time, it seems like it, I just cut it back on and just listen to it. Laugh sometimes. But just keep in mind, it's keeping it real. Keeping it real. And I might start changing my description on the couch conversation. But it's mainly keeping it real with Steve Copeland. And that's what I'm starting to look at. What's more, bro? I'm hoping that we can do some great things for this city, bro. Ivan Bates, you know, I point blank believe in you anyway, bro, because I know where you at. And I know where he at, because he always been there for me throughout the years. And I do want to get to know the other ones. And Isabel, I think she's the inspector general. And I just feel as though for where God is moving me and where I'm trying to take the business and stuff like that, strengthening the community, for helping the community, that I need people financially, if they cannot support what we're doing, but can direct me to other organizations, might be bigger than this, and they get the funding and can fund me to help me in this area of doing what they're doing on a bigger level, but helping the ones that tend to slip through the crack. I love y'all. And I'm out. But keep in mind, please, keeping it real. Keeping it real. And I do want to do topics, expand on them, and then share the solution, the process of moving up out of wherever you're stuck at in your life. I love y'all and I'm out. Have a nice evening, y'all.